Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to the weekly review special for week 15 of the Gaming Decathlon competition. Another huge week. For the second week in a row, we set a new record. We brought in 5,313 points this week, up from the 5,102 a week ago, just the second time we've been over that 5,000 mark. Like I said, that is a new round record, beating last week's record, and of course it had been over a year since the previous one, so that's two in a row. Also, with all 5 active series continuing on with their seasons, it is guaranteed to go up this next week. Current virtual best at 5,511, up from the 5,286 a week ago, and the all-time virtual best at 9,164, topping 9,000 for the first time, up from last week's 8,986. So another huge landmark coming on that one. We'll come back to that in a second, though. Let's break down the 5 series that are active individually. Pro Cycling Manager 2020 Career Mode jumps from 703 to 851 points after winning La Vuelta. So we got 2 Grand Tour victories this season. Plus, we covered a good chunk of time because we were right at the end of it at the start of the week. So big progress there, and that's a massive score for us. I mean, that's a huge increase. Then in the Champions Series, we topped 900, and that one, there's tons of seasons still to go. 906 already, up from the 829. We're going to cap that at 1,000 pretty soon, I think, easily by the end of the Tour de France, if not before that. And that's crazy to think that we're going to have that much of a score. Recently, though, we have not been dominant, so we'll see how well we do going forward. In the Women's Tour, 182 points, up from a week ago, but still well short of our record. That series is going well, but at 1 episode per week, it's progressing somewhat slow. And then in Zwift, exact same score as a week ago, even though a lot of things within the score itself changed. 295 points. So for one thing, I had a little bounce back. My weight went up by a pound. A couple things went up a little bit, so my scores came down. And that's because I didn't have a great week in terms of managing my calorie intake. Drank a couple times. I had more stress as we were searching for a new employee, but found a new employee for the business, so that's good. But they don't start for a week and a half, so I'm going to have a crazy next week and a half here until they are able to start. But at least it's taken care of, and that stress is bouncing back. But it was a tough week, and as a tough week, some things went down, but then some numbers improved. Watts per kilogram went up, my level went up. My level's the same this week as last week. It went up last week, but I had a couple more achievements. Yeah, little give and take, and amazingly at the exact same score, 295. And then in the Perfect Manager, we started our 3rd season. Is it? Sure. Yes, we got our 3rd season underway. We're at 42 points. It's still early in the season where we left off at the end of the week, and that's because we only had 1 episode this week, and that's the result of the whole new employee situation and the hunt for an employee. We missed one of our episodes this week and may miss another one or so in the next week. We'll see. At the moment, I'm doing well on getting ahead into my recordings for next week, but we'll see if I can maintain that because I'm going to be busy. All right, on to the all-time virtual best. This is where big things have really happened. Yes, it was big that we have a new record for the individual week, and that's one of the main things, but you'll see what I'm talking about in just a second. So, Pro Cycling Manager 20 champions jumped from 8th to 6th this week and topped 900 for the first time. So that's now 6 games that have gotten to 900 or better. And then also from 13th to 9th, so making that all-time list, the Career Mode series with that 851, making it 9 games that have now topped 850, and it's almost got a 100-point gap on EU4 there in 10th place. So a pretty sizable gap between the two. So we now have 9 solid scores, and then the drop off is just behind that. And then there's only a couple games with 700, and then it just kind of falls away. Founder's Fortune is the one that was bumped off the list. Don't know if that's going to be permanent, though. I've done a couple seasons with Founder's Fortune as updates come along, And there might still be a third season yet on Founder's Fortune, so it's got a chance actually to get back on the list in the future. Outside looking in, with career mode now making the top 10 list, Perfect Manager got added to those 3 games outside looking in, but none of them improved their score, so they're all in the same position. But here's the big thing. All-time virtual best now at 9,164. That's that combination of those top 10 scores. That is now good enough for first all-time. Of course, I started the channel with that comparison to the Olympic Decathlon. And the all-time record, individual record, is Ashton Eaton from the USA, Oregon Duck alumnus like myself. I went to school with him. I had a class with him. Ashton Eaton's record of 9,045 scored in 2015 in Beijing. That is what we have passed. And we've passed it comfortably. I mean, we're over 100 points beyond that. So there you go. We jump from 4th to 1st on the all-time list. However, we are not done yet. There is still another landmark ahead of us, and that is Ashton Eaton's virtual best. And why not go after the virtual best? Because that's what we're using, is the virtual best. The individual week score is actually only 5,313. That's the record, and that was this week as well. That's well short of Eaton's 9,045, so nowhere near it. So technically, he's still got us, and we still have some work to do to get there, because we're using virtual best, and until now, we hadn't been using virtual best on the athlete's side. So that's the next target. That's what we're going to go after. 9,543. That's still a ways off. We've got some work to do to get there. However, Champions Series coming up. That's going to pick up that nearly 100 points more. And the PCM 20 career mode certainly going to have a little bit more in points because the season's not quite done yet. But we'll see that next week for sure. That's going to do it for this review special. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Have a wonderful week, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Be safe out there, and bye for now.